Well, hey, again, this is Elliot Wood at Enable Ministry Partners, and this is the final segment of our series on how to use Microsoft Office 365 to process and assign incoming care requests. And this is the exciting part that I'm going to try and tie it all together and show you how we can take our Microsoft form and automatically generate a task and notify our team members that we've received that form and created a task that someone needs to do. So I'm still on Teams here, but that's not really where I need to be right now. Right now, I first need to go back to our form. So I'm going to click on the waffle and click on Office 365. And I'm going to open our form that we worked on earlier because we're going to need a little bit of detail from it. It's up here under Group Forms, and I've got the care request. So I'm just going to click on it to have it open. And I'm going to click on my preview just so I can see it. But so you see we've got it open, and then I'm going to go back to Microsoft Office, the kind of the home page here, where I can choose the app that I want to use, and I'm going to choose Power Automate. It used to be called Flow, but this is the tool that's going to let us automatically do some things. So when I open Power Automate, you'll see that it comes up to the Power Automate window and has some information, some how-tos, some videos and things. We're going to go to create a flow. So I'm going to click on create. You're going to see that there's several types of automation flows that we can create. There's automatic flows, and that's what we're going to try and create, one that is triggered by an event, and that event is that someone submitted a form. We can also do an instant flow, which is triggered based on, say, a button. Every time I hit a button, it does a thing. So a scheduled flow would be one that we schedule to run at certain times. But I want to do a search here for a template. So you'll see down at the bottom, we've got templates. And I'm just going to type in form and planner, which is going to narrow down all of the different templates that people have made to forms and planners. And one of the things that's cool is that there's a lot of templates in here that you can choose from that are a great way to get started. And you can see from just form and planner, there's 7 here where people have made a ready-baked kind of recipe for you that will do something when a form is submitted. So in this first one, it'll submit a task to Planner as soon as a form is submitted and post a message in Teams. This one creates a Planner task in Microsoft Forms or when a form is submitted and notifies somebody. Here's one that has an approval built into it. So there's a bunch of different things that people have already done and integrated, and you can use this as a good way to start. So I'm going to choose this one, this create a planner task when Microsoft Forms is submitted. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to go ahead and open up the Forms screen for me. Okay, so you can see that I've got kind of the description of the form I've chosen, and it's just letting me confirm that this is really what I want it to do. And it's going to connect to Forms and Planner and notifications using my credentials. So that's one thing you might want to know is that it's using my credentials as Larry the Cucumber to connect to these things. And if I left and my account went away, somebody would need to fix the form later. But I'm going to click OK, continue, and it's going to do some work in the background to get the form or get the flow ready for me. And you'll see what it does. We've got the first thing it's doing is when a new response is submitted to a form, it's going to do a thing. Now, the first thing it's asking us is what's the form ID? And this is kind of important. As you recall, we created a shared form in our earlier steps. And so when I click here, there's no items. And that's because Microsoft at this point is not looking up shared group forms automatically here. So I'm going to go back to where I opened up my Microsoft form earlier. And this is the little caveat that's maybe a little hard. I'm looking for this word here where it says form ID, and I want the ID that follows it. And it's this long string of a bunch of different words and stuff. And I want everything between form ID equals and the "and" for preview. So that's the form ID. And I know that's a little bit goofy, but I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go back to my flow, and I'm going to click enter custom value, and I'm going to paste that long string of characters. And then I'm going to do it again. So the second step that it's going to do, when a form response is submitted, now we're telling it to get the response details. So we want it to go get all of the responses from that form submission. So I'm going to click paste again, just telling it what form to get the bits and pieces from. And I'm going to paste it in here. And then the response ID is that it wants to get the response notifications. So when we're dealing with dynamic content like that, we can see it's going to pop up on the right here and give us some options. So the only one it has for this particular trigger is to, or this particular task is to get the list of responses. So then the next thing it's going to ask me to do is to create a task. That's the next step in the plan. So when I click on this drop down here, it's going to look for all of the planners that I have access to. And Anywhere Care Plan is already here. So I'm going to click Anywhere Care Plan. And then it's going to do some lookup and figure a little bit of stuff out. But what's the title I want from this for this task that it's going to create? Well, maybe my title should be New Case. And I want to put the name of the person that put their request in, and I'm going to grab from this dynamic content. You see it's pulling this dynamic content from the form response. So I'm going to put their name there. And so my title of that new case is going to be New Case : name. And then I've already created some buckets in my plan last time. So I'm going to tell it to place the task in my intake bucket. And it's already got a start date and time of now. Okay, so it's already grabbing a function expression for the current time and dropping it into the start date and time based on the template that somebody else already built for us. And the due date and time could be an expression as well, or it could be just a time that we enter into the field. And the assigned user we could add here as well. I'm not going to worry about both of those things right now. I think they're a little bit advanced for what we're trying to do in this demonstration. The next step is a delay, and that's just there to give it time to finish writing the new task to the database before we move on to the next step. So the next step is to update the task details. So what we want to be able to do is add some of the form details to our task. And the first thing it's going to do is just grab from this responsive list of dynamic content the ID that it just created. And then in the description here, we can go and we can pick from the dynamic content list. So some of this dynamic content list is coming from the planner, and you can tell that by the planner icon. But if I keep scrolling down, I'll get to my forms. And this works sort of like a mail merge. I'm gonna enter the name of the person that we're doing, and I just double click on, or single click actually, on the dynamic content I want to put in there, and then I can add the next column might be their phone number, because we grabbed that earlier. So you can see I added the rest of the form submission information into the description of the task. And then the next step is kind of a split task. So it's looking to see, is there success or is there failure? And if I click on the little ... in the failure email and go down to configure run after, you'll see that it says send me a failure email should run after the update task details failed. So if we had a failure, it'll update me based on that condition. Same thing over here. If I click on configure run after, I'm going to send the success email if it's successful. And then we've put in the subject, the name of the planner task, and some detail about what got added. So now I'm going to save my my form here, or my flow here. And up in the top right hand corner, you can see a couple of little tools. One is a flow checker, and I can click on that flow checker, and it'll check and see, is there anything that looks apparently wrong? And yay, I don't have any errors or warnings. And I can also click to test it. And as you can see, I haven't run it yet because I haven't entered any form data yet. But I can click. I'll perform the trigger action to run it. So I'm going to go back over here to my Microsoft form, and I am going to enter my name of my person here, and let's call it Captain Hook. And his phone number is 907-123-4567, and he has meals. And he also has another need. He's missing a hand. Okay, so that's important. Now we probably can't help him with that, but and then his description of need is can't cook with a hook. Need some Long John Silvers, right? And so I'm going to hit submit. And what we should see here now when we come back, I'm going to go back to Teams. And we should see, if we go to our triage and we click on our Anywhere Care plan, we should see a new task. Look, we have a new case for Captain Hook. And if I click on it, it's got in the body of the notes all the detail there of the ticket that was entered. And after a few minutes, we received an email in Larry's email account that is just a notification that a new planner task was created based on that notification form that we had. We could probably do a little bit more, maybe put a link to the planner task in there or something. But this gives you a good idea of how to create the flow and get in there and mess with it. And so one last thing I want to show you before we leave Power Automate is when we're looking at the template here, all Microsoft has done has been to piece together some of the building blocks of a flow for us so that we don't have to think about which ones we need to use. But we could delete any of these. We could add more. I can click a plus here and say, I want it to also post on success a message into my team. So I could click the plus button, choose an action. I'm going to do a Microsoft team post. I'm going to post a message. I'm going to choose my team, the Anywhere Care team. I'm going to choose the triage bucket, and I'm going to choose what content I want to include in that message. I could choose from either the plan or the form response. So I might choose that I want to do the title of my form and just say has been created, just to let people know that that it's been created. And if we do that, I'm going to run it in just a second here. It's saving. I'm going to click the test button. I'm going to use the data from a previous run, and we'll just use that last one. And you'll see it kind of works through the flow in real time. And after about 15 or 20 seconds, we should see everything light up with a green. And once we're back in Teams and in our triage channel, we'll see that it's been updated with that string that we entered as the last step. So so we have a notification. We could put more information in that. We could put, please go look at the planner to find it and help people along. But that is the end of how to add an automate flow. I hope it's been really helpful to you. We'd love to answer questions. But let us know how we can be of assistance to you.